Hello, chasers! With the increased costs in living, making sure we have enough money to live is a balancing act that we must get right to avoid getting into financial trouble. And if you are facing retirement, this is a major cause of stress. Today's episode is about how to set a budget to live by. I'm Chris Becks, your host, a business and financial advisor with over 40 years experience and the founder of the multi-award-winning CBEX Business Solutions for Good. This is an accounting and tax topic. Therefore, as a member of CPA Australia and a registered tax agent, I'm obliged to give you this general advice disclaimer before we begin.
The advice provided is general advice only, as in preparing it, we did not take into account your investment objectives, financial situation, or particular needs. Before making an investment decision on the basis of this advice, you should consider how appropriate the advice is to your particular investment needs and objectives. You should also consider the tax implications on your financial situation. Chris Becks, CPA member number 805103 and registered tax agent number 629430015, is a director of CBEX Business Solutions for Good and is authorized to provide accounting and tax advice.
Now that is done, let's dive into this episode. Growing up in a household of 7 kids, my dear old mum was an expert in making Dad's meagre wage stretch to give us a wonderful life. Private schooling, weekly sports competitions, food and clothing. Now, whilst we didn't have a colour TV, a telephone, or the latest fashions or toys, we still had a comfortable life. You see, Mum had a budgeting system to work by. It consisted of a money tin that had sections for each major household expense, school fees, etc., and savings. The tin had a hinged lid, so when it was closed and locked, she allocated parts of Dad's wages into each category, so that when it was time to pay the expense, she would open it and only draw out of the section applicable. Setting a budget is the solution to living a financially stress-free life, especially if you live within your means, or in other words, don't spend more than what you have. Understanding what your expenses are and then living according to the income you generate is the key. Work out what your commitments are, what you like doing, and having a goal to save for is a great start. Then breaking them down into categories and allocate a portion from your regular income to each area. But how do I do this? I hear you ask. How do I do this? A good rule to live by is the 50-30-20 budgeting rule. Here's a breakdown of how it works. 50% are your needs. This covers essential expenses you must pay for like rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation and minimum debt repayments. 30% for wants. This is for discretionary spending on things you enjoy like entertainment, dining out, hobbies and subscriptions. And 20% for savings. This goes towards your financial goals such as an emergency fund, retirement savings or a deposit on a house. The 50-30-20 budgeting rule is a simple and effective way to manage your money because it emphasises both needs and financial goals. Here are some additional points to consider. This is a guideline and not a strict rule. You might need to adjust the percentages based on your income, your financial situation and goals. For example, if you have a lot of debt, you might allocate more than 20% towards savings to pay it off faster. Track your expenses. See where your money is actually going, and this will help you identify areas where you can cut back and ensure you're allocating funds according to the plan. But overall, be realistic. Don't underestimate your needs or overestimate your willpower. Be honest about what you need to spend and set achievable saving goals. The 50-30-20 budgeting rule is a great starting point for anyone looking to create a budget and take control of their finances. Remember, these percentages are just a guide and you can adjust them to suit your circumstances. As long as you are taking action in setting yourself a budget, you are setting yourself up for a more secure financial future with less stress. If you would like to explore this further, make sure you reach out to our team on 0355 612 643, where we can set up a time to help you create your own personalised budget to live by. Thank you for listening. I'm Chris Becks, and I look forward to presenting another episode to you real soon.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the Chasers channel, we would love you to share it with your business friends and colleagues, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from CBEX Business Solutions for Good, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/CBEX, Instagram at CBEX, and on the internet at cbex.com. Thanks again, and we'll be sharing new info with you on our next episode.